Hi, it's Nathan with Crazy Eye Marketing, and in this video we're going to go ahead and set up a Facebook ad. Now I'm going to assume that you already have your Facebook pixel installed on your website. If you don't have that already done, I have a video up above or down below with instructions on how to install your Facebook pixel on your website, so go take care of that first. And assuming your pixel is installed, then let's get into this video here. So we're going to set up a Facebook ad focused on getting conversions. So this could be leads or sales or whatever you're trying to get people to do. We're going to set up a campaign for that. So here we are in the ads manager, and we want to hit this green create button to create a new campaign or ad set or ad. And there's two ways to create a new campaign. There's quick creation, or there's also guided creation. For this example, we're going to go through guided creation because it gives me a little bit more time to explain what is going on in case you're new to this whole thing. So we'll go to guided creation, click this button here, and we're on a screen that looks like this. So on the left-hand side, it breaks down how your Facebook campaigns are structured. So we start with the campaign level, and in this option, or at this level, we select the objective, and then inside of campaigns, we have different ad sets. And within each ad set, we can assign an audience, placement. So this could be newsfeed, right column, messenger, etc. And then we also set our budget and schedule at the ad set level. And then inside of each ad set, we have different ads. And this is the format, the media, additional creative, and so on. So we're here, campaign, so we're selecting our objective now. And there's, of course, a bunch of different objectives depending on what you want Facebook to optimize your advertising efforts for. So there's awareness objectives, consideration objectives, and conversion objectives. For this particular case, an example, we're going to go for conversions because that's what we want to focus on. It's getting leads or sales or whatever sort of action we want. But just briefly, awareness, there's brand awareness or reach. Consideration, there's traffic, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, and messages. And then conversion, we got conversions, catalog sales, and store visits. And I'll link to a breakdown of what each of these means essentially down below, so you can check that out if you want to learn more. Alternatively, you could hover over this little I option, and then it pops up what traffic's about. So send more people to a destination on or off Facebook, such as a website, app, or messenger conversation, and so on. So you could get a little bit more details on which one does what. Rule of thumb is select whichever objective you want Facebook to do for you. If you want traffic, select traffic. If you want conversions, select conversions. And if you want engagement, select engagement, and so on. Now, some people will say if you want conversions, well, first start off with traffic and try and get some credibility and social proof built up on your ads, and that could be a fine strategy. There's a bunch of different strategies around selecting different objectives compared to what you actually want, but I'm a big fan of telling Facebook what you want, and Facebook will do a better job of delivering what you actually want. So we want conversions, select conversions. Scroll on down here, can name our campaign, conversion example campaign. There's split test or budget optimization. Not going to worry about that right now. We're sticking with the basics. All right, now we're going to go ahead and design our ad set, which again, there can be multiple ad sets inside of a campaign. So we're going to set up our first ad set here. I'm just going to call it ad set 1. And now we've got our conversion objective. So I'm going to clear that out real quick. And here's a list of all the conversions we can tell Facebook that we want them to optimize for. So if I want purchases, I'd select that event. If I want leads, I'd select that event, view content, etc. Let's go after purchases for this example. And we'll scroll on down. Here's offer. We're going to leave that off for now. More of an advanced setting. Audience. So here's where you're going to select who you actually want to target. So pretty self-explanatory and intuitive. Scrolling down here, there's custom audiences, which is a little bit more advanced. Not going to cover that in this video, but I will have a retargeting video that I'll link to above or below. You can go check that out if you're interested in custom audiences. Locations, so this is where you'd select the location you want to target. Everyone in this location, people who live in this location, recently in this location, traveling in this location. So a few different options there. And then you can, of course, select the different countries, continents, states, zip codes, cities. You can even select unique addresses in some cases. So if you have a business address, you could type that in here and Facebook might be able to find that. And then that way you could target like a 5 or 10 mile radius directly around your business. So you place wherever you want to put your ad right in here. You could also include or exclude different locations. So if you know there's a part of town that you don't want come to your store, well, you can go ahead and exclude that part of town, and so on. Moving on down, age, self-explanatory, gender, self-explanatory, languages, self-explanatory, detail targeting, so include people who match at least one of the following, and let me click this browse option. So we've got demographics, interests, behaviors, and more categories, and I'll go into this very quickly. So demographics is demographic information like education, financial, life events, parents, political, relationship, work. So let's go into relationship real quick, relationship status. We got civil union, complicated, divorced, domestic partnership, engaged, etc. So you could go through here and pick out your customer avatar or ideal client or customer given these demographic information. We've got interests then, so all sorts of different interests people may have, so fitness and wellness, interested in bodybuilding, physical exercise, running, etc. Coming down here, shopping and fashion, we can select, different interests people may have. Let me close this up a little bit. We got behaviors then, so mobile device user, anniversary, consumer classification, digital activities. Let's go into that one real quick. So operating systems used, Canvas, gaming, Facebook payments user. So this must be people running Facebook ads and so on. So you can browse through all of these different demographics, interests, and behaviors, or you could go ahead and search. Like if you want to find digital marketer, digital marketing interest, digital marketer interest, and we can see all sorts of different demographics, behaviors, and interests that pop up when we search for our words. Like you could also search for people like Tim Ferriss. So we could target people that like Tim Ferriss, and we really hone in on our audience that way. So let me just pick, I'll just go with Tim Ferriss since I had him up. Tim Ferriss. All right, another option, we could go ahead and exclude people from this interest, and or I guess we could narrow this audience. So we could have people that like Tim Ferriss and must also match at least one of the following. So they must like Tim Ferriss and they must like Gary Vaynerchuk. Right? So now we have an audience of people that like Tim Ferriss and they also like Gary Vaynerchuk. And so we can narrow it even further if we wanted to. Who's somebody else? We got Tony Robbins. There we go. And we could exclude people too. So exclude people who match the following. Shopify. Maybe we don't want any Shopify store owners. They don't work for us, but we want other entrepreneurs. And if we scroll down on the right-hand side here, we can see our potential audience size, which is 220 million people match this type of these settings here. And the reason for that is we have expand interest when it may improve performance at a lower cost per result. So there's been a lot of studies on this checkbox, mainly that I've heard from digitalmarketer.com, so I can't take credit for that. But they say all of their results say to uncheck this box. It does not produce better results, even though it sounds like it's going to produce better results. It historically hurts your results. So recommend unchecking that per digitalmarketer.com's guidance. And as you see, when I unchecked that box, we went from a potential audience size of 220 million to 5.9 million. So that sounds a lot more reasonable, right? 220 million is like the entire US population that's using Facebook. And that's not right? So that sounds a lot better with the options we've selected. Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Tony Robbins all have pretty significant followings. So having that size of audience makes some sense there. All right, scrolling on down here, there's also options for connections. So we can do people that like your page, friends of people that like your page, exclude people, apps and events, and so on. So you can select options there that make sense. Then we get into placements. So we've got automatic placements, which is of course recommended. And what that means is Facebook's going to place your ad in all the placements available for Facebook and Instagram, or you can go ahead and select which placements you want your ads to be shown on. So we've got different device types. We could select between mobile or desktop, and then we've got all of the different placements that we could select from. So Facebook feeds, instant articles, in-stream videos, right column, suggested videos, marketplace stories, Instagram feed stories, audience network, messenger, etc. So to get started, I'd recommend unticking audience network and messenger, and maybe just stick with feeds or just what's available here. I've not received good results from audience network historically, and messenger is a whole other animal, and I don't recommend just going like all in, but if you want to, you can. But yeah, I recommend, kind of limiting where your ads are showing, so that way you can make sure they're showing in the best possible places, because not all placements are created equal. That being said, of course, putting your ad in a Facebook feed is going to cost you more money. So instead of, maybe a in-stream video might cost you, 2 cents for that video to play. Whereas for that same video to play in somebody's Facebook feed, it might cost you 20 cents. So you definitely pay for the placements in the long run, but they also usually perform better. Different placements perform better. So something to keep in mind. It will be more expensive to advertise on feeds, but likely generate better results. And that's all part of testing and checking what is working, what isn't working, etc. And you learn that over time as you collect data. So anyway, we'll leave all that as it is. Scroll on down here. We got specific mobile devices and operating systems. So we could choose between Android and iOS devices. So that's important to you. Only when connected to Wi-Fi. So make sure they're on Wi-Fi before your ad is shown. That could, if somebody's on Wi-Fi, that usually means they're stationary. So they might be at home or at work or something like that. And when they're stationary, they're more likely to sit there and read through your sales page or whatever it is you're trying to offer, and hopefully take action. So that's something to keep in mind. Usually with Wi-Fi checked, they're stationary, whereas they might be driving in their car and sliding through Facebook while driving. And so they might not want to buy your stuff while they're driving their car, right? So something to keep in mind, might be worth testing. Scrolling on down here, we have exclude content and publisher. So you could exclude, have block lists, so who you don't want to show your ads to, and then excluded categories. And you could go ahead and select these options if they're important to you. Budget and schedule. This is where you set your budget. Pretty self-explanatory. There's daily budget and then lifetime budget. Usually recommend going with a daily budget, and you can of course adjust it from there, but you could also select a lifetime budget and just let your ad run that lifetime that you select here. And you can make adjustments later on, so it's not like set in stone necessarily, but yeah, I typically go with daily budget so I can adjust it on the fly more easily than a lifetime budget. And scroll on down here, so schedule, start my ads, when, run my ads continuously, so on. Optimization for ad delivery. So since we are setting up a conversion objective ad, we want to make sure that we are optimizing for conversions. But if you, for some reason got this far and you're like, oh shoot, I meant to do like a traffic ad, I don't want to optimize for traffic, you could change it at this point in the game. So we got conversions, of course that's our suggested option. Landing page views, so that's somebody clicking on your ad and going to your landing page. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they buy anything or take any action on that page, but at least the page loaded up in their browser and they saw what you're offering. And then we could change it also to other options. So I click here, link clicks. So if I decided, oh shoot, I should have did a traffic objective instead of a conversion objective, I could essentially change that by changing my options here. But I'm going to go back, optimize for conversions. All right, so conversion window here is an option that you want to set based off of how long it usually takes the person to perform the action you want them to perform. So if it's like a lead gen conversion, so you want somebody to opt in for a lead magnet or request a voucher or whatever it is you want them to do, usually, it takes them 1 day to click your ad, view that page, and enter their contact information. So with a lead conversion, you'd likely want a 1 day click or 1 day click or view conversion window. Whereas if it's a purchase, and they might see your ad, they might click on it, they might be like, let me think on that for a couple days. They come back 3 days later, they see your ad again, and then they buy. And in which case, your advertising efforts should still get the credit for generating that customer, right? Because that's where the person came from, as an ad. So for like a purchase conversion, you might want to set this to 7 days as opposed to 1 day. So choose whatever makes sense for the time frame for somebody to make a decision. That's the best advice I could give you here. And in my example here, I was going for purchases, so I'm going with 7 days click or 1 day view. All right, bid strategy, we could essentially do automatic. So Facebook's going to put us into an auction and increase or decrease our bid based off of everybody else that's trying to reach that customer at that time, and so on. Or we could go ahead and essentially try and put it into manual mode. And we can essentially tell Facebook how much we want to spend per purchase, and Facebook will try and reach that objective. Now the thing is, if you're like, well, if I could do this, I want Facebook to give me purchase events or purchases for $1 a piece. More than likely, doing this, Facebook's not going to be able to show your ad because there's not going to be enough money for Facebook to be able to find conversions for $1 a piece. So you can't just enter like a lowball number and be like, all right, well, Facebook will only send me traffic if they can get me a customer for $2. And the thing is, Facebook doesn't know who might be a customer for $2, so they're not going to show your ad, and your ad probably will not run if you have like a lowball number in here. Now you could have $50, and then your ads will run fast probably. So if you don't know what you're doing here, I recommend just going lowest cost. It's the best option. Don't mess with set a bid cap. Just do lowest cost. Let Facebook automatically optimize your stuff for you, and it tends to work out better, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So lowest cost. When you get charged per impression, ad scheduling, run ads all the time, run ads on schedule, and delivery type standard, or we could do accelerated. And so there we go on the ad set. So let's hit continue and go to our ad creative. So here are an ad. We can name our ad. So I'll just call this one ad 1. And then we could create a new ad or use an existing post. So if you already have an ad created or a post on your Facebook page, you could go ahead and reference that and essentially pull that into your account here. Or you can create a new ad from scratch, which is what we're going to do here. Identity, we got Facebook page. So select the Facebook page you want to run your ad from, and then Instagram account. If you have one of those hooked up, you could select that here. And then we can come on down to format. So there's a few different formats for your ads, and if you've been on Facebook at all, you've seen these all types of ads. So there's carousel ads, single image ads, single video ads, slideshow ads, collection ads. Gonna run with single image for this. Add an instant experience. So basically a mobile landing page that opens instantly when somebody interacts with your ad. They used to call these canvas ads. Now they're mobile or instant experience ads. But basically it's like a landing page you build on Facebook instead of taking somebody to a landing page off of Facebook. You can mess with that if you want to. It's more of an advanced thing, not necessary. New, turn images into video. So Facebook's trying to make life easier for people. You could upload a couple images and Facebook will turn it into a video for you if that's something you want to do. All right, come on down here. We got our images, so we could browse our library, upload images, or free stock images. So Facebook will give you free images you could go ahead and use. So you can be like, oh, this image looks good, confirm. And of course, with stock images, they look like stock images and they typically do not convert well. So I do not recommend running a stock image. But if that's all you have, then that's all you have. I recommend finding an image or creating an image that upholds your brand and your company. Those tend to do much better. So now I got two different ads or images. Basically I got this one right here and then the one I just uploaded right here. I could go ahead and crop the image, make sure it looks good, confirm, looks good, okay. We could also select to use a different image on Instagram. So if you want something else to show on Instagram, you can do that here. Links, so want to link to a website, probably. We're setting up a conversion campaign. We want people to go opt in or buy or do something, right? So we'll send it to a website. Text, so here we'll enter our text, copy, Then our website, I'm just gonna pick a random one. Headline, headline, headline. Could have had a call to action button. So no button, or one of these other sayings, basically. Pick whichever one makes the most sense. Studies have shown that learn more tends to do the best, because that's just kind of like a generic thing. Like, yeah, sure, I'll learn some more. It's pretty low key call to action. But if you want somebody to go sign up for something, you can select sign up or watch more or listen now or whatever makes sense. But yeah, safe way to go is learn more. Overlay, so this is something new. So we could do free shipping right there. Let's see what happens to my ad over here. So there you go. Facebook will add a little thing over here saying free shipping, or of course you could edit your own graphic and add a free shipping overlay if you wanted to. Display link is optional. Now you can't change this at all, so I don't even know why they have it anymore, but it's basically says that you could change this link here, and maybe you could make it capitals or lowercase, but it has to be this exact link. You can't say like something else. I couldn't write like crazyrmarketing.com here when I'm taking people to this link here. So the link has to stay the same, but I think you can change the formatting of it. And then description. So there's the description. And just another FYI, I created another video that explains ad copy. It's like a basic ad copy 101. So if you're interested in what to actually put on this ad, watch that video. I'll have a link to it up above or down below, so check that out if you need some help writing the copy. And scrolling on down, we got branded content. So if you're working with another business, you could go ahead and kind of connect the account or the ad together. URL parameters, this is more advanced, but it's for tracking your traffic through your ads. Conversion tracking, of course, make sure that your pixel is turned on, so that way you're tracking the events, the conversion events. And then of course over on the right hand side is a preview of our ad, and we can go ahead and scroll through, make sure it looks good in the different placements. So here's instant articles, and we had desktop newsfeed, mobile newsfeed, instant articles, desktop right column, marketplace. So that's what it looks like in marketplace, Facebook stories, Instagram feed, Instagram stories. And then since we got two different graphics, we could essentially check out what our ad looks like over there. And then we could come on down here, hit confirm, and we can publish our ad, and it will go live once it's finished publishing, and it'll go through an approval process as well. So assuming that your ad gets approved by Facebook's approval team and Facebook's algorithm, your ad will go live and traffic will start coming through there and hopefully generating great results for you. So that's it for this video. That is how you go ahead and launch an ad on Facebook, and I hope you found it helpful.